Welcome to B.A.Showoff, the dance lifestyle podcast. I'm Becky.
And I'm Alexandra. And whether you're a dance coach, dance parent, or a dancer yourself, this is the show for you. Come join us on the road as we hang out with Yamil Kairuz, founder and director of IMassage and Stretch. Let's see him behind the scenes and in full action. Hey, Shoffs, we're here at IMassage with Yamil Kairuz. Hi.
Hi, Yamil. Thank you for having me with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, Yamil, can you tell us a little bit about what you do and what this company is?
Yes, so I am a massage therapist, sports, specific for sports. I work with dancers, and we do conditioning, stretching, and rehab.
Awesome.
And how did you get started into doing this with dance?
You ready to sit down?
Yeah.
It's a story. So basically, I used to work with all types of sports. And I had one dad that was a marathon runner, and his daughter used to dance, which I have no knowledge about dance at that time. And she needed to get her turnout for a school that she wanted to get into. And they were very specific about the turnout. So I said, I think I can do this. You know, what is it that you need to do? You need to open your hips. Okay, I got you. I got to stretch. Long story short, it worked. She got into the school. Of course, dance mom, she blew me up. She was like, wow, this is amazing. You got to go see Yamil. And that's it. That's the story.
Nice. And you've been doing since then, this is what your focus has become, has been mostly dance?
From seeing all types of sports, I kind of like calmed down to basically seeing mostly dancers. I see dancers, gymnasts, ice skaters, cheerleaders, but mostly dancers.
So I know that dancers, they get injured or, they need to work on certain things. Is that something that you focus on, is working on injuries, preventative exercises that you give them? Is that mostly what you do with them?
Yes. So first I want to clear that I am a massage therapist, not a physical therapist. Although I did some training at NYU for dance specific rehab and strengthening, conditioning, point readiness. What I usually say is, depending on the degree of the injury, I'll say finish your physical therapy, then come see me, and I'll get you ready for dance. So yes, I do rehab, I do strengthening, whether it's an injury or just getting ready for your sport.
Okay, so I know that there's a lot of dancers out there, I'm not very flexible, or, I've really got to work on my flexibility. At a young age, I think it's always easier to work on the flexibility, but when they start getting older, it starts getting a little bit harder.
Yes.
What do you tell dancers that, really need to work on the flexibility and they want exercises for? What do you tell them?
So flexibility is huge. There's so many stretches and types of stretches out there. I've come down through all these years to really specifically work on one type of stretching, which is mostly dynamic stretching, which is moving in and out into your stretch, because that pumps blood into your joints and it's a healthier stretch. And I think that when you stretch at an early age, don't stop. Because if you don't use it, you lose it.
I know that. Yeah. I know it. When I sit in a straddle now, it's a little painful.
That is, me too. Believe it or not, I had my straddle, but you lose it.
Yeah, you do. You used to be able to put your chest on the floor, and all of a sudden it's like, it's a half an inch off, and then an inch off, and then it's like, oh, I can't even move. So yeah, and flexibility is something that some dancers have naturally.
Yes.
And it comes really easy, and there's some dancers that it comes a lot more difficult for them.
That's correct. Some flexibility can be genetic or not. So some kids are naturally flexible. It doesn't mean that they're going to keep it once you start to get muscle and get stronger and older. And then some young ones are not flexible. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it's genetic.
Yeah. So I know that you have one of your dancers here to help us today. So Can we bring Alana out so you can show us some flexibility exercises?
Come over here, Alana. This is Alana, guys.
Hey, Alana. How are you? Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Okay. So tell us something that you would have one of your clients come and do when they want to work on flexibility.
So for Alana right now, what we're doing is we're working on conditioning, but as far as flexibility, it depends what they want to work on. Privates are a half hour, so we don't have a lot of time, but my work is very specific and you'll get results right away. So depending on if you want to work on splits for hamstrings or hips, or straddles for the hip. So it depends. We attack one area. That's the area that they're struggling with the most, and we'll attack that.
Okay, so can you show us like something that you would do to work on I mean, I think one of the big things is like, dancers want to have nice extensions. So their flexibility for their tilt.
Perfect.
What would you do for that?
Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna demonstrate a good hamstring stretch.
Okay.
And then we'll work on a little bit on the tilt, and we'll see how that goes. Yes.
Yes, let's see it.
Sounds great.
Okay, excellent. So nice. So a lot of times what I will probably look for is, I'll do that again. What I'm looking for is posture. Her chin is up.
Mhm.
I'm looking to see if she's hanging. So that would be something that we have to work on the hips
Yeah.
more than just the hamstring. If she was here, then that would be something that would work on hamstring to get it higher. But as far as her hip, she's doing pretty well. It's not hanging.
Yeah.
So that's something that I look for first. And then we'll work on it. I'll videotape that part. And then we'll work on it. And then we'll videotape again and see the results. Sometimes we get results the same day. Sometimes it takes a couple weeks.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
So let's stretch. You're gonna have a seat, face the wall, okay? And your feet go there. Okay. So what am I working here? I'm working her hamstrings. I'm also working on her hip rotation because the tilt has a lot of hip and hamstring work.
Yes.
Some adductors as well. So what I'm gonna do here is everything we do is assisted.
Here, let me-
Oh. So hands on the wall. This is so that when I rotate her hip, she doesn't hit her face on the wall. We're going to do rotations in and out, releasing that. So dynamic stretching, moving into your stretch, we'll do 10 of these. Okay, so she has
pretty flexible on her lower back as well.
she has an excellent hip rotation. This is excellent for her low back, right? So mainly this will be hips. Someone that has tight hips, I probably won't only get this far. They will feed it hard, okay? So from here, after doing 10, I'm going to lock this hip here. She's going to keep it right there. And she's going to raise her knee one at a time, alternating left and right. 1, 2, 2, 3. You feel that? 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8. If I let go, do it now. Do the rotation. Do you feel anything? But less, yes? If I do this, go again. You feel it more? That's the difference. I'm locking the hips to get a good stretch. After we do that, we're going to take one block out, the other one out. She's going to scoot up. And we'll go again, another rotation. So she has great rotation. I really don't have to focus so much on this one. We'll do 2 more. But I'm going to lock it here, and she's going to go up and down again. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, and 8. Good job. We're going to take this off. Take this one off all the way in. No rotation, just up and down with the knee. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. Now pay attention. We're stretching. When she comes out, she's going to come out very slow because you start to get a little weak in your joints. So I always tell them, come out slowly. Stand up and take. All right, so that was level 1. How was that? Good? Okay, let's go to level 2.
You're improving by the second.
Yes. Here, hold this. So we'll do 1 more and then we'll demonstrate the tilt again. Face that one. And just hold the mic. No, you're going to go up in front of the mat. There we go. Okay, now, let's tight. Let's not tight, but let's lock this in here so it doesn't slip out and fly away. Give it a loop and lock.
Those are like the dancers' best friends.
They love these bands. They love these bands. But a lot of, the dancers will come here and say, what can I do with this? I have no idea. But I can show you what I can do with it with you, right? How to use it with you. Because a lot of the stretch, every stretch that I do here is assisted stretching. So I can guide them and see that they're doing it correctly. Always working on posture. This is for you, for your hands. What this allows her to do is keep her posture forward as her arms are extended, so that she doesn't lean forward, okay? Posture is everything. Good posture locks the hip. You'll get a better stretch. Okay, let me grab one more. Actually, this one. Yes. So this is just for me, for my knees. Okay, 1 block here, so that I'm not, my bony knees are not on her back. And then we'll probably use 1 more here. So we'll finish with this stretch and then we'll test it, okay? Can I put this down here?
Yes.
All right, so Inhale, exhale. That's one. And out. Dynamic stretching. Breathing is important. Inhale, exhale, and out. Okay? We'll do 5 of each today. One. I usually ask for feedback. How you doing? You okay? Yeah. Yes? Okay, good. So now we're going to put this the long way. Not this way. Yeah, and down. Yes, like that. You're going to close your legs. Close. So resisting tightens the muscle, you get a better stretch. Now I'm going to stretch from that. I'm going to piggyback on that one. One. I'm resisting a little bit. She's closing. She's using her muscle, her adductors, the inside muscle of the thigh. Okay. And I'm going to stretch. This is for your tilt right here. Okay.
So for a dancer who's not that flexible, they have to be careful
Yes.
not to overdo it, because
So-
this is where you can get injured.
Right. So they actually can't do it themselves.
Uh-huh.
They can't open hard themselves. I just work with them. I say, okay, how you doing? If we're here, we're here.
Yeah.
You know, but she has a little bit more flexibility. I can push a little bit. And remember, all my stretches are dynamic stretching. I don't stay back here for hours. That would be painful. Okay. So after we do that, stay here. I'm gonna add a block because she's so amazing, right? She's flexible. So I'm just adding more to get a little bit more.
Uh-huh.
Again, you let me know how you feel. Are you doing good?
Yeah.
You feel it? Yes,
Does
close.
it ever hurt?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Stretching is gonna hurt a little bit, not to the point where you're gonna cry and you're in pain for 2 weeks. That's the type of stretching I do not like. Not for me, not for my students, right? Let's do one more. Open big, here, stretch, and release. Good job, okay? All right, let's take this off. Good with that. Carefully, so just swing out. What are you gonna do?
Walk.
You're gonna walk. See, she's so smart. Walking
very
out to
quickly.
stretching is important. And I train them. I train them how to breathe. When you're relaxed in your stretch, that's when you take air in your lungs. When you open to stretch, that's when you take the air out of your lungs, because it relaxes the muscle.
Mhm.
If you run out of air, and I say do the exhale throughout the whole stretch. If you run out of breath out and you take that breath in, that's where the muscle locks in. So it's very important how to breathe, because you can tell kids to breathe all the time, but if you tell them how to breathe, that's the difference. That'll make a big difference in the flexibility.
You do similar stretches and exercises if you had an injury. Like if she had a hip injury, would you still do these?
So the hip injury, the first stage of that is first to examine how, when they come in. The first thing is how you're walking. If you're limping, we're going to 0. We're starting at 0. If you're walking, you have a little bit of injury, you're recovering, okay? We're gonna start with the massage, the roller, compression band, all the other good stuff, which we'll demonstrate in a little while. But no, I would definitely not do that after an injury. You know, and also it depends on the injury. Like if it's a groin strain, that's like your enemy right there.
Yeah.
Like no stretching for groin strain. That's
I
like,
think that's something that dancers do. They don't realize it, that they're injured, and they think, okay, well, let me stretch because it'll go away, and don't
What
realize it makes it worse sometimes.
yeah. What happens is that if they're injured, it's a mild injury, but they're injured and they feel the pain. When they stretch, they feel a little bit more pain, but it's kind of like, oh man, that feels good. Like, it's actually bad. It's actually worse.
Yeah.
So you want to stay away from that. Of course, it depends on the injury.
Can you explain the difference of when a dancer feels sore, when it's a good sore feeling and when it's a bad sore feeling?
So that's hard because they're young and it's hard for them to really, separate that. When a dancer comes and they're feeling pain or soreness, I don't know which one is going to be. I usually say, "What did you do? How did this happen? When did it start?" "Oh, I did this and I was overstretched." Okay, so that's a pull muscle, like a muscle strain, right? I was working out, no stretching, just I was doing this movement and I feel pain. Okay, so now you're sore. So it's really up to me to figure out, because it's going to be hard for them to really, is this soreness? But teaching them and saying, okay, think about what you did before you came, before you got hurt. Is this a pain that from like I was stretching and I stretched too much, or is it a pain from like I just did like 1,000 plies and like I'm sore, Miss Santa killed me the other day, so that type of thing. So it's really since they're young, it's really educating.
Yeah.
The most important thing for me is to educate them how to breathe, how to stretch, what do you do after a stretch, when to stretch static, when not to stretch static. Static stretching before you go to bed. You can stay in your straddle or your splits for hours. I don't care because you're tired. The most important thing is that when you think about muscle, this is the most important thing is muscle is made in our bodies to protect us. That's what it's made for. If someone wants to throw a rock over here, the first thing we're all going to do is this. Because this is the biggest muscle we have in our body naturally, right? You're not going to go like that, right? So what happens is that if you know how to breathe and you're stretching, if you know how to breathe, you will go longer. It will say, you will have a better result. That's what I'm trying to say. At night, your body's tired. It's not going to fight you. That's a great time to do static stretching. Other than that, before solo, before going on stage, dynamic stretching, moving in and out of your plies, do 20 plies, do, in and out on your splits, not static. Static makes you a little bit weak, and sometimes it will cause injuries, so. Good.
Beautiful.
Very nice. So it felt good? Yeah. It felt comfortable? That's my So those are my questions. I usually I want to know their feedback because you work with kids all the time, and I work with the younger kids. So a lot of times it's like pulling teeth. Like, how do you feel? Did that feel okay?
Yeah.
Did you feel any pain? Was the pain less? Was the pain more? Was it worse? So it's really getting the feedback from the kids. Because they don't talk. Sometimes they don't talk. I'm like, what happened? You okay? You're good? Are you sad? What happened?
Dancers don't like being honest. We don't like saying that we're hurting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah, they're tough. Right?
So before she got to like that amazing, beautiful tilt, she had to have done conditioning throughout years, and a dancer normal that doesn't have flexibility. What conditioning exercise would you do so that you can get to that point?
So, first and foremost, I this is one of my biggest, my first to go to. Do ballet. You need to focus on ballet. I don't care if you're a jazz, tap, lyrical, hip hop, ballet. Yes, hip hop. Do ballet. Ballet is going to show you something very important, which is poise, posture. Mm-hmm. You need good posture, even if you're doing hip hop. And I would like to show you something that I like to teach all the dancers. That is science into dance. Which is very, very important. Actually, I'll do that. I'll take that time to do that now. Is that okay?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Can someone hold this?
Yeah.
Thanks. So, are you right-handed or left-handed? Right-handed. So, she has a good foundation in ballet. She has good technique. She's a strong athlete. Okay. So, we're gonna bring our arms down. Okay. I'm sorry, out. And down. The three things that I always say is what? Chin up. Shoulders back and down, tight belly, okay? So you're going to do chin up, shoulders back and down, tight belly, tight belly. Chin up, shoulders back and down, tight belly. This is posture. Mm-hmm. When a dance teacher says, postura, posture, this is what you're looking for. I just don't say that. I say this so they can remember that, okay? She's right-handed. I'm going to push her down. She's not going to let. Keeping her posture, okay? Don't let me push you down. Go. Pretty strong. She tried, okay? I'm only going to compromise one of those three, just one, the most important one, put your chin to your chest, like that. So that's bad posture. Shoulders back and down, tight belly, bad posture. Don't let me push you down. Ready? Impossible. How hard were you working? Very hard. So this poise posture is so important.
Yeah.
In every movement you do. I mean, whether I was, coaching an Olympic lifter. They're carrying all this weight, and they're lifting. As soon as they do this, their back goes.
Yeah.
You see those guys fall apart. It's because they compromise the posture that they need for poise. So, anyways, that's that.
You did great. So these were great exercises and basics, and dancers, I mean, they know a lot of this is in the back of their mind. I mean, they've been training, but it's great to have the reinforcement. So I think that, once they get past this, there are other things that they need to be focused on. So can we go over some exercises that you would do for dancers to get them strong and get them stronger for their dance career, for their dance, team or whatever it is that they're doing?
Yeah, so I would say, there's so many categories in strengthening for dancers. I mean, we can be here all day. I have a protocol for leg day, upper body, posture, core. Core is the one that I was saying, focus every day on core. And core doesn't mean just doing sit-ups. It's really doing a lot of legs on the ground. And
Planks, do you do planks?
Planks are good. And really using balance boards, anything that can challenge your balance. Because here's the most important part of core exercises for dancers. Dancers transition. At almost every point, there's always going to be one leg that's off the ground. At that moment is where your core kicks in. Your core is fine here. But as soon as you kick one leg off, that's when your core starts, your one leg up, your core starts to kick in to balance you. And then you have to move and turn and do all that crazy stuff that dancers do, right? So I would say foundation, core. Move on to legs, move on to upper body, overall, all full body workout. But my focus in this, in what I do as privates for the dancers, is really, really focus on core strengthening.
Now we're going to move on to the rehab. So specifically maybe hip injuries, because I think that a lot of dancers tend to suffer from that.
Yes.
So we'll have Lexi here helping us.
Hi, Leslie.
So can you show us maybe some exercises you would do in rehab for these dancers that maybe suffer from these injuries?
Okay, sure. So as far as injuries, and let's say she has a hip injury, what I will first examine is how she's walking, her gait. So I will have her go from the wall and walk this way to me. So I would determine how her hips and her knees are tracking, and how her foot are tracking as well. Is they're tracking in, tracking out, or a contraction. And then I will have you walk that way to see the posterior. And that looks good. She's healthy.
Yay!
So let's say she has a hip injury on the right side. Let's do a little work on the right side. So what I would do first is a massage and a little stretch on the table. This is my protocol. This is where I get to know her body first and see how the limitations are, if there's any, or if there's no limitations, and I figure out, troubleshooting. All right. So just getting to know her right now, the first thing I see is that the left hip is a little bit hiking up. So what I see here is it's very minor, but you see how her heel is higher than the other one. The toe is shorter than the other one, like that. So some parents might be concerned, oh, her leg is shorter than the other one. I say, don't worry, it's not about the leg. For this matter, let me check, and then I'll adjust the hip. So I know right away there is a little discrepancy on the hips. So let's work on that. Okay, good there. Now, let's see. First things first, let's check the back. So there are these two little bony areas here, the PSIS. Okay, so right here is going to determine. You see my fingers here, how they're not aligned. Yeah. There's one higher than the other one. That lets me know, like, okay, she definitely has something going on in her left hip. Is tight, and most of the time it's going to come from this muscle up here. Yeah, the muscle is called the QL muscle, quadratus lumborum muscle. And I'm just going to do a little massage. Usually the dancers will come in dance attire, shorts, dance top. That way if I need to use any ointment. But more or less, this is how I work with them. So now I'm going to go here. So the hips. So I try to attack everything that has to do with the hip. I call them the cousins, right? There's cousins everywhere. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to see her range of motion on her quads. So I'm stretching her quads right now. And, it's not bad. I see it gets a little tight here. Sometimes if I just loosen up this low back muscle here, it'll loosen up that. Because the quads and the hamstrings, the TFL muscles are all around the hips. They're gonna determine how your range of motion on the whole leg. Okay, a little different angle here, and a little different angle here. I'm gonna lift here, and I'm gonna rotate. Be very relaxed. Just let me move your leg. That way I know and I feel your hip rotating. And then we're gonna go to a muscle here. That's called the TFL. This has a lot to do with the hips. Okay, so we're gonna go here and do a little rotation. Now I'm brushing through just to get by, so I can show you guys. But I will take my time. get some feedback. We're gonna work on this IT band, right? A little tight. She can feel it. Yes. Yeah. So the IT band is after the TFL muscle and the upper glute muscle, which all has to do with dance. There's a band that goes right in the middle. It separates the quads from the hamstring. Usually it's tight most of the time on the base leg because it's the leg that stays on the ground more and it gets more weight bearing. A little compression works amazing to bring circulation into the muscle and the joints. A little pressure here, a little pressure here. Perfect. We're gonna bring this arm out of the way. That way I can move this leg. Be very relaxed. Don't use your muscles, okay? That way I get to feel your hips. And circles. Circles are very important. If she had narrow hips, it would look like this. It would push me off. So I won't be able to do a nice circle. So she has good hips. We'll go the other way for turn out. Stretch here. Okay. And at any point they tell me, oh, that feels sore, that hurts, we'll talk about it, right? We're gonna go up and down for a hamstring stretch. So we check the hip, let's check the hamstring. We're gonna lock your knee, you're gonna flex your foot. Pay attention, this is a great way to stretch. You get a full stretch. If you point, it's not like pointing. Pointing is good for dance. But you're gonna skip from here up, right? If you flex, you will get from the bottom of your ischium tuberosity, your butt, all the way to the Achilles tendon. So keep it flexed, keep it locked. Let's stretch. I'm not pushing hard right now. I'm just warming up the hip for the stretch. Okay. So let's see her max. Okay. Let's see her max. Okay. So right before it gets tight, you feel there, right? That's your max. Okay. We're gonna make that amazing right now. So turn out, lock, flex, push to my shoulder, push hard. I'm gonna resist, but I'm gonna let her push all the way. We'll do a few of these. Go, 2, push. Good, push. Excellent. Now you're gonna push all the way down to the table, push hard. And then we're gonna test that flexibility at the end to see if there's improvement. Push, 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 hard, hard, hard. I'm resisting, she's pushing. I'm being mean. Good. 3 more. Push, 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 push. Good. 2 more. Push, 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 push. Excellent. Last one. Push, push, push. Point. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Is that better?
So all this while you're like learning her body and understanding, it's also kind of warming her up a little bit.
Yes, because I want to see where her restrictions are coming from. Right? Yes, her hip is hurting, but let's check the hamstring, let's check the quad, let's check the calf, let's turn out. Now, she said her hip was hurting. So this is the part where I'm going to focus on for the turnout. Any pain here? Any pain here? Any pain here? No. She's not hurt. But let's say she was hurt. Let's say, pain here. Okay, I got you. Remember where we are. So if it's an injury, I don't want to stretch the injury, but I do want to test it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to test it. I'm going to say, okay, does that hurt? At the same time, I'm turning her out because that's her hip and she's a dancer. If she wasn't a dancer, I would be turning out, right? But I'm going to turn her out here and push a little bit down. That puts stress on the hip. But you feel that though? Yeah. So I'm doing that. Okay. And let's say she says, no pain. Okay. No pain. Pain. All right, I got you. So we're going to go a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. And I'll do a little resistance to see if it gets better. And I'll explain why I asked that. So you're going to push against me. Rest. Push. Rest. Push. Rest. Push. Rest. Push. And rest. Relax. So now I'm going to test. If she goes further and I will say no pain, she'll say no pain. I say awesome. That means it's muscle. And it's not a joint. So muscle heals faster. Joints take a little longer. Ligaments, tendons take a little longer. They have a low blood supply. Muscles have a big blood supply, so they'll heal faster. So if that's the case, I'll say, okay, I know this is muscle. We can work on that. We're going to start doing some exercises to really attack that muscle. And then we retest it again here and see how that feels. So we're going to go to some exercises. Yes? Let's go. This is her hip injury. I want to attack the supporting muscles that stabilize the hip. So we're going to work on a little bit of the TFL muscle, the upper glute muscle, and we're going to work on the adductors, everything that surrounds the hip to really make it sturdy and strong. So this is where we're going to start. Okay, this is a mild exercise. Let's say it's a it's an injury that it's a little bit higher than what we think, and then we work our exercise as she feels better, and we'll progress in that sense. Okay, so you're going to come forward about right there. Okay, we're going to start with the heavier one, the stronger one. Okay, this one here. Okay, and just put it right above your knee. You're going to go to releve. You're going to open more than your knees. You see how your knees are in? That way you get a bigger range of motion, okay? And now, you can go here, the other hand here, back straight, chin up, shoulder body down, tight belly. It's in there, it's everywhere. Okay, and open big 10. 1, do your best. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're going to keep your back straight, lean forward. More. Right there. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Last one, you're going to lean on the wall. And you're going to give me 10, and you're going to hold 10 at the end. Okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job. Where did you feel it?
Back here.
Yes. You see? So that I always ask to make sure without me telling them, you should feel it here. And they're like, yeah, I did. No. Where did you feel it? Okay, perfect. You did a good job.
And these are great exercises because they don't need somebody to do it for them. It's very simple for
They can do it. The only reason why I'm here is the first time I'm explaining it. And then also, like, let's say I'm not here and they want to do it themselves. It will look like this. So say here, because right now I'm just coaching her. But let's say she learned it and she's doing great. She's going to put her finger here and her finger here. Because what happens if you open big, it'll slide up. So you want to control the band. Up, back straight, chin up, and 10. 1, 2. So this one gives you a more range of motion. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lean forward, back straight, chin up. 1, 2. She's feeling it. 3, 4, fire. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. The worst one, lean back. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job. Yeah, open big. Open. Okay, I'll take the mic because you need your hands, okay? Okay, you're going to go on releve because you're a dancer. Yes. Okay. Hug the ball to your body. You're going to squeeze the ball. I'm going to count to 10. We're doing 4 rounds, okay? Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Rest. You see the shaking?
Yeah.
We'll explain that later. Don't worry, you're good. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Rest. 2 more rounds. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax. Where did you feel it? Yes. Did you feel it all the way up? Good. This is a great exercise. One of my favorites. Ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because it attacks the muscle all the way up to the hip bone. And this is where groin strain happens.
Yeah.
So you got hip pain. We'll do a test here and there. Let's see where it's hurting. Is it hurting outside, on the back, the side, or inside? Most of the time, if it's a groin strain, they'll feel pain in the adductors or the hamstring. And then that's when we'll have to figure out, okay, is it the hamstring or is it the adductors, right?
That's a great exercise too, because I think dancers tend to have really strong quads and they don't use their inner thigh muscles. Correct. And that's making you work the inner thigh muscle a lot.
Absolutely, and in a safe way, but it attacks. So you can do some adductor exercises. What happens with that one is that it actually attacks all the way up, the full muscle, which is great. I think it's probably the foundation of that exercise for that muscle.
Yeah, and that helps a lot with turnout. It helps a lot with their extension.
Well, for right now, so that would be something that I would use for strengthening after an injury of a hip injury or adductor or groin strain. I will use that one. That was the mild one. We'll start working like that and figure it out. And then we'll get into some pliés with a heavy vest, stuff like that. So we'll start, as she gets better, now we cut the therapy part and then we're going to the conditioning part to prevent. So preventive injury exercises, still like, let's do one. Is that okay?
Yes,
Let's do one.
absolutely.
Here, hold that for me. It's heavy. Okay, right here. So the reason why I put a vest on is I want to put a little stress on the hips. Now, this is once they're already feeling better. Now we're doing preventive injury exercises. You're going to go to second, big, relevant. Use the bar just for balance, like you're gonna go down, tap all the way down. I'm not doing it. You're gonna come back up and stay on relevant. Don't put your heels down. Okay. We're doing 5 with the bar, 5 without the bar. I'll explain. Okay, so turned out, good job. I'm just gonna push this a little bit back. All you're gonna do is tap down with your booty and then come back up.
Like a squat.
That's it. Make sure you tap the blocks. Good. Keeping your chin up, shoulders back down, tight belly, always. That's 3. And moving slowly. The slower you move, the stronger you get. You see that shaking on that relevant? Yes, on those legs, those thighs. Good. Let's do one more. Excellent. Rest. Heels down. Stay there. Now we're going to let go of the bar. This incorporates the core more. So it's going to challenge your core as you go up and down. It's going to challenge you this way. Grab the bar if you're going to fall. Not wrong, but then continue with no bar. Okay? Here we go. 5. That's it. Nice and slow down and nice and slow up. That's the way. Excellent posture. Good job. I like it. There it is. Good. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. 3.
Where'd you feel it?
Lots of places.
Yeah, so quads, glutes, core, ankle strength. Yes?
Yeah.
So a lot of these exercises that I also do, like the one there, the one here, you're going to see that I mostly have you work on relevant because you need strong joints. So I always tell the girls, I want to turn on this. Like, okay, yeah. You guys do relevant all day. Your calves are amazing. They're strong. I have no problem with your calves. It's your ankle joint that doesn't let you do what you need to do. Once they learn how to do exercises with good posture, it becomes a habit. Because we can do the exercises all day, right? But posture is part of that. So, if you're a CrossFitter, I'm like, okay, whatever, just do your thing, swing it up. But you're not a CrossFitter. You're not a tennis player. You're a dancer. And poise, posture is in there always. Yeah. So even with the exercises, I wanted to, make it a muscle memory. Like even if you're just doing a plie, even if you're just doing like a balance work, keep your poise, keep your posture. Right? So, Alana, you're ready for me?
You're back.
She's back. All right, let's see. Let me grab one of these things here. So we're gonna put this on. This is a little cuff, and I'm gonna put a resistance band to her ankle. Blue orange. How you doing? Okay, you know what to do. We'll do the full routine on the right side. Okay, chin up. Shoulders back and down, tight belly. Give me 10 with the bar. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. No bar. Pay attention. Slowly. No bar. As if you have a paintbrush on your toes. And there's a canvas here. And you're painting one line. Don't splatter the paint. Yes? Here we go. 1. Excellent. And bring it down slowly. Control. Chin up. 2. So this band is pulling her forward. Her core is engaged in all aspects. What does that mean? The front of her core, the side of her core, and her back of the core. Because the core is the whole center. It's working and is engaged right now as she does
So this
the
is
work.
more working your core, not so much your
So
leg.
this is working core and this leg.
Your standing
And balance and everything else. But more importantly, core. Now, so we did warm up, we did control. Now we're going to do power up. Power up is a little crazy, a little dangerous, but she's got this. She's amazing. Here we go. Power up and pause. Hold it. Power up. Good. Chin up. Power up. Power up. Last one. Last one. Good job. Excellent. Okay.
Nice.
We're going to come down.
The regular person doesn't understand how hard that is.
They don't. She makes it look easy.
It looks very easy.
So now we're going to go to the side. So we're turned down now. Before we were forward, now we're turned out. Okay, same thing with the bar. 2, 3, 4, 5, watch the bar, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good job. No bar, yes. Chin up, remember, counterbalance. Pull to the left, it's trying to pull you to the right. Tighten up. 1, excellent. Control. This is the control one. This is the one that makes you stronger. 2, good. Control, control, control. 3, pull to the left, chin up. 4, good. 5, 6, excellent, excellent.
You
Good
can
job.
see her muscles working.
7, 8, 9, and 10. Good job. Excellent. That's the way. Excellent. Okay, good job. That bar with power ups, okay? It'll hurt. Here we go. We're going to go to power up and up. Good. Power up. Control, control, control. Watch the bar. Power up. Good. 2 more. Good. Right, there it is. You okay? Yeah. Last one. Okay, good job. I knew it was going to happen.
I know that we can go on for days
Yes.
with different exercises. One exercise or 2 exercises that you recommend or that you do for dancers to stay up on their releve for turns. Because I think that that's one of the problems that we see a lot is that dancers, they'll do 7, 8 turns, but they can't keep the releve up.
I got you. Perfect. Hold this for me, and we'll demonstrate. So troubleshooting what's the problem with the turn? Why are you coming on your turns? In this case, let's say the ankles are weak. So she'll do a few alisacones and then she'll come out. That means that she's a strong dancer, but the ankle joint needs a little strengthening. So this is probably my #1 exercise for strengthening the ankle. Up to releve, okay, chin up, shoulder back down, flat belly, it's in everything, okay? You're gonna let go. I'm gonna count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're doing 3 rounds of this. 2 more rounds. So remember when you go down slowly, no hands. Okay. This is strengthening the joint. Now I'll explain how. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Off. Now we're going to do flat feet, okay? Because you don't turn on the passport, right? Same thing, flat feet, okay? 3 rounds. So what I usually say is, give me a second, let me explain here. I will demonstrate my right, because I can't do my left. So what I usually say for beginners, right? Someone that's trying to learn how to do this. I say go up to releve, look down, make sure you're not sick of it. Fix that. Because this is the foundation. You can be here and you're getting strong, but you're getting strong the wrong way. Make sure you fix it. After you fix it, lock it, and then you're going to have chin up, shoulder back down, and then you start. But I really want them to focus on good alignment. Alignment is everything.
Yeah.
So, good. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent control. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good. Here's what's happening here. Okay, so do one more with me. So I'll actually just do the second part. So here, obviously, they do this all day. This is relevant. Amazing calf. Wow. Okay, great. But here's the thing. Here's the exercise. This is what's the second part. Going down. Going down is ankle strength, 100%. Most injuries happen, not all. They happen down. Basketball players land, boom, roll their ankles because they have weak ankles, right? Not all of them, but some of them do. Most injuries happen going down. Even for dancers, if they're on point, they're going to do a little thing, a little hop, a little jump, boom, they roll over. Most injuries happen going down. So you want to get strong and have all that body weight going down, sustaining it until you get all the way down. So I will probably do this once a day, every day. 3 rounds on the balance board if you have one. If not, 3 rounds flat feet. It works as well. So this is a great exercise. I highly recommend it.
My final question to you before we let you go, because it's been awesome. Injuries. So dancers always have, when they get injured, they don't know, do I do hot or cold?
Here we
And
go.
I know it depends on the injury, but what do you recommend?
Honestly, I've been doing this for 25 years in my profession. It's everybody says something different, physical therapists, doctors, and all that. In my experience, for dancers, right? If you have muscle pain, heat. If you have joint pain, ice. That's it.
Okay.
I wouldn't put ice on a muscle. That's just my preference.
Mhm.
I've seen the results on both, and how if a joint is swollen or if it's hurting your knees, your hip, your ankles, your wrist, your shoulders, put ice on it. But if it's a muscle that you're feeling pain on, I would say put heat. Why? Because our bodies are warm inside. It's going to react better to it. The heat is going to relax the muscle
Mhm.
and to be supple, right? Ice vasoconstricts the muscle. What do you mean? It contracts the muscle. It kills the pain, so it feels amazing. But what happens after a while? Your body temperature kicks in again, so you're back to square one. Using heat will relax the muscle. I would say 2 or 3 times a day, depending on the injury or whatever they feel. But I always use heat for muscle, ice for joints.
Do you recommend doing like cryo and cold plunge for
So,
injuries?
Yeah, so cryo is great. Also, again, I'm not a gung ho, let's go ice out, because your body goes back to normal temperature.
Mhm.
I think cryo is amazing. I've had it before, I've done it before, but it's temporary. It goes away. As far as heat will stick to your body longer. It's almost, I'm gonna track away a little bit. It's almost like drinking water, right? So the water thing, how much water? How do I drink water? So my biggest thing about water is our bodies are warm inside. Drink room temperature water. Yes, we're hot. You're dancing. Sure, get some cold water so you don't faint or pass out, right? But here's the trick for water. Big glass of water, sip it all day. Obviously, after you dance, you're sweaty, you're tired, you're gonna jug down water and all that. But on an off day, and when you're sipping on water all day, stays longer in your body because it'll absorb in your lungs. I mean, in your organs more. Versus cold water,
Mhm.
I'm sure you know what happens.
Yeah.
I gotta use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's cold. It's gonna come out. Your body doesn't like cold stuff inside.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for spending the
for
morning
having
with
me.
us. Thank you, Alana. You were amazing. And to our other assistant, Lexi,
Lexi.
thank you so much for being here. If anybody is interested in contacting you, how can they contact you?
So you can contact me through Instagram, IMassage and Stretch, or my number 305-307-6500. Text only, please. Don't call me. Also, August 9th, my annual workshop is huge. Sign up. Text 305-307-6500 for my annual workshop. It's 5 hours. I have great choreographers. Try to make it. It's an amazing experience. Don't miss out.
All right. And I've used him before. I'm going to say he is amazing. So I highly recommend him for anything you need. Thank you,
so much.
Yamil.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed our behind the scenes with Yamil Kairuz, founder and director of IMassage and Stretch. So why don't we talk about how you met Yamil in the first place?
So I met Yamil several years ago. He's been working with many of my dancers since they were really young. Doing different types of conditioning and exercises to help them with flexibility, with their turns, posture, alignment. I've sent my kids to him whenever they have injuries. I'll send him because he does incredible massage for your different injuries. And I've gone to him myself when I've had my injuries as I've gotten older. I've given him a call and I've gone over there and he works his magic and he is incredible. He's so good, so knowledgeable, and really understands dancers, which I think that's something that some of us have a hard time finding, is somebody who can help you as a dancer. Because you'll go to a chiropractor or you'll go to a physical therapist and they'll be like, oh, you can't dance ever again, you shouldn't dance, you'll never should be dancing, that leg, your knee, whatever. Just like sports, that's not realistic. We're not going to stop. We're going to keep going.
That's everybody's favorite thing to hear. Yeah, my doctor told me I just can't dance anymore, and then the injury will be gone.
Yeah, so I think that finding the right place to go to that they can help you with your injury, understanding that you're not going to stop. As an athlete, you're not going to stop. As a dancer, you're not going to stop. You're going to continue, but you need to have the knowledge of what do I need to do so that my injury doesn't get worse, that I take care of it, that I protect it, that I heal so that I can continue and my career continues a long time. It's something we have to worry about as dancers because, you know, they always say your career is not forever. Like, this career is very limited. You don't have, 60, 70 years to be able to keep dancing and keep doing this. You are limited. You are on a time frame. So you want to make sure you get the best of your years of, being a dancer, and that you are protected so that you could do it as long as possible. And I think Yamil helps you with that.
Well, one of the things that I loved in watching him do the exercises was that he emphasized the importance of strengthening mobility, and how even none of his stretches were just sitting in a straddle, me pushing you into the wall. It was come in and come out, come in, and that is so important that I feel a lot of dancers, even dance teachers, don't understand that that helps push your flexibility so much more, and it's so much more effective, efficient, and safe to do it that way.
It's funny because when I was young, centuries and centuries ago, when I used to dance
back in the Stone Age,
that's how you would stretch. You literally would sit in a straddle for 20 minutes, and that was your stretching, because it was a different kind of thinking back then of how you would stretch and what you would do. Or you would have your leg on the bar and then slide into a split on the bar, and you would stay like that for 5 minutes. And as we've developed throughout the years, we've understood those aren't the best type of stretches, that you do need to move in your stretch. Now, sitting in a straddle and stretch over and hold that for a couple seconds, that's good, but that you don't just hang out there for 10 minutes at a time. And it used to be that way, but if you saw the exercise that he did and his explanation of why we should move in the stretch, it just makes so much more sense that that's really the right way to do it.
Well, and even things like how you need to build muscle and actually have that muscle to prevent an injury. Because if you notice, dancers or anybody, that whenever you get injured, you don't get injured in the strongest part of your body most of the time. You get injured in a weaker part of your body, and that's because there isn't enough muscle growth, and there isn't enough muscle to protect you in that specific area. So I really like that his exercises were really targeting the muscles that needed to be strengthened, all while actually stretching the muscle at the same time. So it was kind of like doing a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
It was great.
He also is very knowledgeable about what muscles you should be using for different exercises. That I think, just in general, dancers use their quad muscle a lot.
Yes.
Because it's such a large muscle and you're using that muscle most of the time, where there are other muscles that you should be using if you do the exercise correctly. And he kind of helps in understanding, this is the muscle that should be working, this is how you make this muscle work. If you do this exercise, you'll feel this muscle. So I think that is so beneficial for dancers, and I think that we sometimes skip over that step because we don't have time for that. We don't have time to be training and spending so much time on, okay, let's do this stretch for this muscle, let's do this stretch. Like, the dancers have to do it on their own time, because we're so limited. So when you find somebody to help you do these stretches and help you do these exercises, that it's somebody that really knows what they're doing, because there's a lot of people out there that say they know what they're doing, and what they're doing is probably injuring the dancer or making things worse. So just to make sure that when you're finding somebody to help you with the conditioning, or these stretches or flexibility or any of that, that they're not doing exercises that you're in a lot of pain. Because if you're in a lot of pain while you're doing it, there's something wrong.
Well, and I love that he was actively asking the dancer questions. So it was like, how does this feel? Because I think it's okay to feel pain to a certain extent, and it's okay to understand the difference between it hurts but it's stretching, and it hurts because I'm going past the limit that I'm able to go to. That's where injuries happen. And I like and appreciate that he was very active in asking the dancer, how do you feel? What kind of pain do you feel? Do you feel that this is helping you? It was a conversation that I think, especially as a dance teacher, I know from past experience, and I'm sure you do too, that there's times where it's like, everything you're gonna do is gonna hurt, but you gotta go over it. You gotta keep going. And as beneficial as that can be to teach a student to try to overcome and try to do try to get past that pain and work through the pain, it's also important to understand when it's a limitation that's being passed and when it's something that is going to help you grow in the end. So I know that like even with Lexi, he had her lay down and the first thing he did was like, see, okay, so this hip is a little bit higher than this one. It's normal, that's fine, but now I understand what I need to do to make sure that this is being stretched as much as this one, and that we're helping with these injuries in the same way. So I think that him understanding and being really knowledgeable and specifically training with dancers is something very rare and hard to find.
Yeah, and the other thing is that he is smart about exercises to strengthen the muscle that needs to heal the injury. Where again, we don't always understand that. We don't always know what exercise should we do to strengthen. Not so much to get rid of the injury or to stretch the injury, but to strengthen whatever muscle we have in order for that injury to go away. And him showing all these different exercises and explaining it to the dancers so they understand why they need to do each exercise and what muscle they should be working and how much should be working, so important. And I think that if you're able to find somebody, because everybody can't come to Miami and see Yamil, but if you're able to find somebody who helps with all that, grab them and do as much as you can with them. And Yamil is great because he also has a lot of things online, so you could follow him and see all the stuff that he does online so that you could do exercises from home. Him telling us how he teaches the dancers so they could do it on their own, and that's great. That's what you want them to be independent and be able to take care of themselves.
Yeah, and I mean, he also does, I know he does private sessions. He also does in a group. Sometimes he travels to a studio or he travels to a school to help, or you can book with him and go to him, and he has all of this equipment that he can do with these like yoga balls. He has the bands and the little balancing board, the turning board too. So there's so many things that he has that you know what you're doing, because unless you are a dancer or you've worked with dancers, you have no idea how to use some of these things. So I really do love that he's made that like his focus.
And for dance teachers, if when you want to bring in somebody to work with your dancers, give them specifics. Like, this is what I need. I need my dancers to stay up on their releve when they turn. They keep on dropping their heel. They're just not strong. Their ankle strength, whatever it is. And that person should be able to come in and work on exactly what it is that your dancers need and as a whole, because you're really trying to look at everybody as a team when you bring somebody in to do conditioning. You want everybody to be strengthened, and you're looking like, okay, what does my team need? What's their weakness? What if it's flexibility, it's turns, is muscle strength, whatever it is, the person could do it for the entire class if they know what they're working on.
Yeah. And I mean, he's also great for us because he's local, but for those who can't, I mean, definitely do the research, go out and find, maybe you are able to, do some sort of session with him yourself and then take it back to your students. But as a coach and as a dance teacher, whatever it is that you want to make sure that the tools that you're giving your students are going to help them. And we constantly need to be the ones that are doing our own outside research, because these dancers, in so many ways, they're being trained by so many people. And everybody's trained differently, but the more that we could kind of come together to find safe ways to help these dancers, especially when they're going and doing 75 conventions and 100 competitions and dancing for 12 hours a day, it's so easy for them to get injured, and it's so easy for them to not stretch properly because they don't have the time. That half the time they have to go jump into a class not really warmed up, and they do split. We're good. We're done. We're ready.
Yeah, they jump into rehearsal without even warming up. Sometimes.
Yeah. And it's so important. These dancers have to, because longevity in dance, like you said, it doesn't exist.
No, and now all these required tricks that they're making dancers do, and in order to keep up, you've got to be able to do this trick and this acrobatic stuff and this leg grab thing and it's just so much put on their body that if they don't find a way of making sure they're taking care of their body before they get to that point and how to recuperate after you have rehearsals, how to, your muscles to cool down and to make sure that you don't get injured afterwards. It's a lot on the dancer. So I think that, it's definitely something that teachers need to really take the time to look into so that their dancers are getting the best information. And we talked to them also about like cryo and heat versus, ice. I love cryo. I think cryo or like a cold plunge. Anytime that my muscles are sore and I've done cryo or I've done a cold plunge, it helps me relax. It helps me sleep better. The next day I'm not as sore. The recovery is better. You've got to find what works for you because that doesn't work for everybody. Right. There's the Normatec. Those are great. Yeah. Those leg things. I mean, you put them on your arms, you put them on your legs, and they really help you with the recovery. And I think it's so important that dancers know how to prepare for class, take class, rehearsals, but then also do their recovery afterwards.
And dancers are resilient, and dancers really aren't complainers. I mean, how many times have you had a student, you've seen them like just fall, you're like, are you okay? And they're like, yeah, with like a tear streaming down their face. It's also so important for dancers to learn to communicate what they're feeling. If my ankle hurts, it doesn't feel normal. It might be nothing, but it might be something. And it might lead to something so much worse if you don't take care of it now. So it's also really important, first of all, for a coach and a teacher to be really aware of, does my student look like they're in pain? I need to do something about it. And it's also really important for a student to say, I need to tell my teacher that something hurts. It might be nothing, and it doesn't mean that I need to sit out, but at least, hey, you know what, my ankle's kind of hurting today. If you see me stumble a little bit, this is why, but at least so that a teacher can be aware.
Yeah, and dancers have to be smart about wearing what they need to take care of their injury. I don't know how many times I have dancers that they have knee problems and stuff, and all of a sudden their knee's hurting. I'm like, well, where's your brace? Where's your knee band? Oh, I don't have it with me. With you all the time, because you never know when you're going to need it. You should be rehearsing with it. You should be taking class with it as much as possible so that you're constantly taking care of it. But worst case, it should be in your bag at all times.
And that it always ends up hurting the most the time they have to be on stage.
Yeah, exactly.
And you just have to hope and pray that adrenaline is going to kick in to get that pain away. But most of the time, right before you get on stage is when it hurts the most.
Yeah. You need to have those injury preventions ahead of time. The ice packs. I have ice packs galore at work. We have a big file cabinet, and in there full of the ice packs that you pop and go. So because you always need them. Anybody gets injured, immediately you want to put an ice pack on them. We have the icy hot, just in case we need icy hot. You should have all these first aid things in your dance studio with you at all times. I used to have a rolling suitcase. Now I have one of those big hulking bags, which is even better.
I have a dream duffel.
The dream duffel, those are great too.
A dream duffel that has, and I have all of my students, right before competition, I give a list of the things that I need, and I assign each student with one thing. We need Band-Aids. This is for this girl. I need an ankle wrap. Here's for this girl to bring. And they all contribute to the first aid. So that way it doesn't come out of any sort of funds. And the maximum, I think, is the most pricey item is $15.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. And each dancer brings something. Everybody put it in the first aid. Great. And then the dream duffel also has the garment rack, so they all get to hang their garment bags on there too. But at least that brings them, if somebody needs something, hey, I need some icy hot, here, I have some
right
here.
There. Yeah.
And they don't need to go asking everybody. We have one right here in the dream duffel. So if as a coach, you need to be prepared. You need to be ready for if something happens to your dancer, you need to be able to provide.
And I always tell my dancers, have your stuff, but yes, you have your backup just in case. The dancers should have their own ice packs. They should have their own Band-Aids. They should have their own little first aid. But as an emergency, you always have it for them because you never know. And dancers get injured,
Or how many times are you going backstage and somebody hurts themselves and you need somebody to go run and get something? Go get it in the first aid. It's so much easier that way. But anything we can do, any sort of resources that we can have, let's make life easier for these dancers.
Definitely, for sure. And again, Yamil is such a great person. If you don't live in Miami, or even if you are here and you want to reach out to him, he's very easy to find. He's a wonderful person, so much knowledge. He's so helpful that I'm sure that if you wanted to have a one-on-one with him on a Zoom, he would be ready to do it and teach teach you whatever it is that you need so that you can get your students where they're supposed to be. Or if you are a dancer and you want to reach out to him, I'm sure he could do it as well. He has this big workshop coming up this weekend. So, he gave his information, but dancers, if you're not doing anything on Saturday, check it out, because I'm sure it's going to be a great workshop with other teachers and other dancers.
And for those who don't know, he also does things like cupping. He does, massaging for injuries, and he also does stretching privates.
Yeah.
And stretching classes. So he's very knowledgeable in all of these things, and he can help you with whatever injury or whatever injury prevention that you want or have.
Yeah. So, we hope you enjoyed this week's episode with Yamil. We hope to have him back, giving us more exercises and more feedback on what we should be doing as dancers and dance teachers to make sure that our dancers are staying healthy and in the best shape possible.
And if you have any questions or suggestions, make sure to click on the link tree in our bio and fill out our Google form. And follow us on Instagram and subscribe to our YouTube.
Thank you, dancers. Bye. See you next
Bye.
week.